I always hear people talking about productivity, but there is a secret behind every productivity system that nobody talks about. In order to be productive, you need to find your own system that suits your life. In this video, I will guide you through how to create your own system, build it up, and make sure you stick with that in order to achieving amazing productivity to your life. Productivity system is a process with input and outputs that need to take you from your current state to your desired one. When this process and system is tailor-made to your specific needs, it's more likely to stick and become a habit. And this is exactly what we want to achieve. This is why some people work the best with pen and papers and others need complex software in order to achieve their goals based on their specific tailor-made productivity systems that suits them the best. But no one teaches you how to create your own system, what need to be in any system you will ever create it, although it's pretty easy. So I served in the military for 5 years, and in my military days, I planned a complex operations. We split every operation to 2 phases. The first phase was planning, and the second phase was controlling. In the planning phase, we figure out what we want to do and how we want to do that. In the controlling phase, we control and manage the operation in order to ensure it matched our plan. Let's take a real life example. Let's assume that we have a really important conference in London 3 days from now at 8 a.m. And we're right now in Berlin. So we need to plan how we get from Berlin to London. There is a lot of ways to do that. We can take plane and then it will be very fast, but very expensive, but maybe provide us more time to prepare ourselves over there. Or we can take a train that will be much more cost effective. But we also can rent a car and creating a lot of different places to see in these 3 days and make sure that we hit exactly on time. After planning, we need to control this plan. It means that we're gonna look on traffic every day to see if we need to do any adjustment in order to make sure that we're really arrive in time. This is an extremely powerful way to make sure you achieve what you want. In every productivity system I ever read about, there was at least those 2 stages. One, planning what you want to achieve, whether it's a project deadline, goal, or metric. And second, the controlling phase. Monitor and make sure everything is going as planned and do adjustment if needed. I think that the most amazing productivity systems are industrial machines. Those machines work for years sometimes in amazing effectiveness when you provide them with input and they provide you with output 24/7. This is the same for your productivity system. And we can learn a lot from those industrial machines. So what I learned about industrial machines that exactly like our 2 phases, the planning and the controlling, we can break it down even further. For every industrial machine, there is the planning stage, that's called setup. Somebody needs to think about the machine, set it up, make sure it's installed correctly. But then on the controlling phase, people do something called maintenance. This is what providing this machine the ability to operate for such long time. We need to make sure you have those 2 components. One, setting up everything from the plan, and then during the controlling and managing to do maintenance to your productivity system and process. And what I mean by that? I mean that when you look on your planning, after you plan, you have your 0 state. Your 0 state is the state that you start from there, your journey. So assuming that we have a lot of tasks for a project, so the 0 state will be to create the plan and to put everything in our to-do application. And then the controlling phase will be make sure we hit our goals. So we can look on all the to-dos and say, yeah, we did only 25%. But, and this is the crucial part of it, in order to system keep function. We need to keep adding more tasks if needed. And this is the maintenance, to make sure we take things from the system, from the to-do application, in order to make sure we always have our current state. So every productivity system will be different tasks that you need to do in order to maintain the system. It's not part of the task that you need to accomplish or the thing that you need to do as part of the plan, but is crucial task to do in order to save the system. Make sure you providing input. Make sure you look on the output and see if this is the desired output. These things are related to the system itself. So we have two things to remember from that part and the industrial machine. One, we have the zero state from where we start, and then we have the maintenance, the action we do in order to make sure we keep this system alive and work efficient as expected. So until now, we have our system that has a planning and has a controlling phase. And over that, we have the zero state and the maintenance we do to the old system. But there is something that is very important to remember, and it's related to physics and psychology. So like we mentioned, every system has the input and the output. Sometimes to enter the input, there is a high friction. If your productivity system has high friction to put the input or create the system from the beginning, it will be very hard to maintain and control because it's involved with negative emotions that prevent from you to do that. When you're creating your system, you need to make sure that the input, the maintenance, and the controlling will be with less friction as possible. And from the other side, we have the output and the controlling part that might take a long time. You need to make sure that the output and the controlling and the maintenance have sort of reward for you. You need to feel good when you stick with your productivity system. You need to feel that you make progress. You need to feel that you're doing something. And sometimes we want to put inside our productivity system artificial dopamine rewards or rewards in general into the system. Some milestones or even real physics rewards when you accomplish something as part of the system. This way, we reduce the friction to start, but we also increase the possibility of stickiness to your productivity system by rewarding you keeping doing what you need to do. Now you know how to create your own productivity system, creating by planning, then controlling. Make sure you have your zero state, that you keep everything in maintenance, lower the friction to entry and creating those zero state and maintenance and the controlling phase, and increase as much as you can your reward from all these process or during this process of the productivity system that you build. I'm sure that you will have a lot of idea and inspiration that you can share with us, and I can't wait to see what you came up with after seeing this video. Until the next time, I was me, you were you. Bye-bye.